Holy smokes, have you seen April's Beautiful Inked Occasions kit? Wow, this is so pretty. And I love the card bases. They have such beautiful backgrounds. This is the one we're going to use for our project today. And then there's this one. And then there's this one as well. So 3 of each card, which is kind of typical with our paper pumpkin kits to have 3 cards, 3 of each or something similar. And then the envelopes, of course, are gorgeous. Love that. And then there are all these little cutouts and different pieces that we could use. But I've decided, actually, we're only going to use a couple of things here. So we're going to use our card base. And I believe I have a piece of that card base, so I'm not going to be cutting the whole thing because it's unnecessary for me. But you will want to have, if you'd like to recreate this, you'd like to have your card base out. I, however, have already, to cut my sample, have a partial piece here that I will be using in the same way. So if you're going to recreate, don't worry. It'll be the same. And then I've got some of the supplies from the kit, including our stamp set, which I have several stamps mounted here. The Berry Burst Stampin' Spot. And I believe there is one other thing. And that is whatever sentiment you want to have on your card, you'll want to pull out that shape. And I'll show you what I mean. Oh, it's sticking. Okay, so we have all of these different shapes that fit in with the sentiments, the larger sentiments in the stamp set. So, for instance, like this one would be, congratulations would fit in there, okay? And I am choosing thinking of you. It's a great generic sentiment. So we're going to start with that piece. And then I think the rest is all extra things that I have brought in from Stampin' Up, other products. So we're going to start by cutting this piece, or the full card base, whichever you have handy. And we're going to cut this at 3.5 inches, just like this. And then we're going to turn it and cut it at 5 inches. Wait. 4 3/4. Woo! That was close. Hope I didn't throw anybody off. This piece we're not going to use. However, we are going to use this piece. So hold on to that. Keep it handy. I believe that's all the cutting we need to do for this. And then we're going to stamp our sentiment. So pulling in our Berry Burst Stampin' Spot, as well as that piece here that fits the Thinking of You. I'll grab that Thinking of You stamp and add that. And because it's photopolymer, we should do a decent job of lining that up. Ta-da! All right, then, oh, I saw something. I see something I need my trimmer for. I have a piece of white cardstock, basic white, that is 10 1/4 by 5.5. And when we're all said and done here, it's going to be the size of a standard size card. So we're going to start scoring 1.5 inches from the end. And then from this end, we're going to go 3 inches. And then we're going to flip this around, do the same thing over here. So 1.5 inches. And then 3 inches. And what that gives you is 1.5 inches and 3 inches from each end. I think that's all. And then we've got another piece of basic white here. And this, when you start this, it measures 4 inches by 10.5. So that when you fold it in half, you've got 5¼ inches, which then fits nicely inside here. Before we add that though, I am going to do some folding and using my bone folder to make sure the creases are nice and tight. So I'm going to fold the inside score line in and the outside score line out. Seems logical, doesn't it? And we're going to do that on both sides. In and out. Okay. And then when we open this up, now we're going to adhere this piece right inside. So grabbing your adhesive, and I think I want to give this a little bit of a crease too. Then we're going to add this to the inside of our card base. So it's actually going to be a fun fold times 2. So we're going to open here like this, and then we're going to close like this. And so you'll open it twice to get to the inside. Fun, right? That's why we call it a fun fold. Then we'll take the piece here that we cut 3.5 by 5, and we're going to adhere that to a piece of peach pie cardstock that is 3 5/8 by 5 1/8. And that's going to fit right inside there. And that will go right in on our inside of our card base. So it looks something like this. Now we're going to go to the inside. And remember that piece that we cut off the bottom of our card? Well, I'm going to add that to the inside of my card here, leaving an equal border on left, bottom, and right on that inside card panel. Then we'll do a little bit more stamping. So I've decided for my inside sentiment to do sending my love. So we've got thinking of you on the outside. Sending my love also comes from the little stamp set in the paper pumpkin kit. That I will stamp there. And then this stamp set comes with little tiny butterflies too. So I'm going to grab those and use them to decorate the inside just a little bit. Gotta have some butterflies flying around, I guess. Okay, so we've got our butterflies, we've got the inside figured out. Now we go back to the outside. I'm gonna start this section by popping up our Thinking of You sentiment with some Stampin' Dimensionals. So 3 across should work quite well. And then we'll add that to our card slightly above center and on that beautifully marbled background, just like this. I have also cut a flower out of gold foil paper. Now, where did I get that flower? It is the Hugs a Bloom dies, which are an add-on for Paper Pumpkin April, May, and June of 2025. This has some great dies in it. It's got some leaves, totally versatile, right? It's got a die that says Hugs. It's got the flower, and it's got the label. I love this one, this add-on, more than probably any that we've had so far. And I am just going to put a little dimensional on the back there. Probably just taking a piece of dimensional from there and adding the flower. Oh, let's see. Let's make it more interesting here. Okay, we'll add the flower up there. So pretty, and it goes great with the foil accents in the card. And then our embellishments, although they don't come from the kit, are going to be new, beautiful petal pink and strawberry slush. I don't even know the official name. I know that they are called those two colors. And I'm going to add these to my card, the pink ones, the strawberry slush petal pink ones. I don't know, the other one, no, I'm not. never mind. Do as I do, not as I say, or something like that. I don't know. I'm going to use the clear ones because they have little flecks of gold in them, and I think that's pretty special. So those are the ones I'm using. Ignore me. Hello. But we're going to add those here, like so. And then we're going to add the peach on the inside with some designer series paper from the current annual catalog, which is 2024-2025. This catalog is only good for another week, although this designer series paper has been carried over. So you can still get your hands on it, which is great. In fact, a lot of the designer series papers carried over so that people could still grab their favorites for a little bit longer. And I love that. So we're just adhering that DSP, designer series paper, to peach pie. You can see the measurements in the comments below, not in the comments, in the footnotes in the video. And each of these then will go on the panels inside the card. Beautiful. Now you can see it closes like this, but I want to be able to keep that shut with a little sneak peek of our sentiment right here. And so what I decided to use for that is this beautiful gold mesh ribbon that currently is sold in the JA25 mini catalog. That's the January to April 2025 mini catalog. But guess what? It's also carrying over. So I have cut 18 inches of it. And I am going to wrap that around my card to keep those gates shut. So it's kind of an alternate way to make a gatefold card. And I am going to just tie a bow around it as tight as I can get it to keep it shut. And what I love about this mesh ribbon is that it's really thin and doesn't bulk up an envelope too much. And I think that's pretty great. I'm going to trim this down a little bit. And what I also discovered is that if you would like just curl the card in just a little bit, you'll be able to slip that off and on like a belly band. So you can still have it tight. And I would just put it right down here below my sentiment sneak peek. And we have ourselves a really fun card that opens twice. And that is extra special. So I hope you've enjoyed our alternate project for April 2025. Can't wait to share the next one. It's always fun to create with our paper pumpkin kits. Happy stamping!